least it's summer, so it's going to be warm rain. It's also going to have warm rain is also one of the most interesting weather types that you can drive in, because the track temperature will still be very high today, despite the weather, or comparatively high anyway. And
so
then,
if in the Netherlands the weather is similar to what we're having in Hamburg, it's effing cold. We have something we have something like 14 degrees Celsius outside.
YouTube doesn't seem to have gone live again.
No, it should be.
Is it unlisted?
We specifically checked that it was not.
There we go.
It's public.
Yeah, it's fine. It was. Yeah, it was a quick refresh that was required.
Don't give me a heart attack.
No, it's fine. It's as I say, it's YouTube being YouTube. It's not Certa's fault.
So, as we were saying, the server of the ASRC has live weather. So it's raining at real live Zandvoort. Or, well, it's not raining anymore, but it has been raining all the time. So it's immensely wet, as you can see. So that's the first surprise. The second surprise, let me check. There we go. The second surprise, so to speak, is that after his no-show in the last week's race, Marc Carol has lost the first place and Gaspar Mrak has been able to take over, as it's no surprise after his fourth, third, and especially first place in a big... How was it again? Bikarniki?
Bikaneki, yeah.
That one. So, yeah, Marc Carol going to second, and I don't see him in the list of drivers.
Not at the moment. If anywhere, he would be right near the top as well. So, not showing as well. However, there is still time, and he may be in a similar situation, or a few of the drivers may be in a similar situation to what I have been, where work was keeping them away. How is qualifying going at the moment? Running on the foreshortened Zandvoort track, as we discussed last week, so the time between you getting to that wonderful... the two wonderful NASCAR-style sections as Abithander is about to come to. Absolutely fantastic. In the Alpine A110s, which is the cars that I've attempted this in. Also brilliant to have in these Clio Cup cars as well.
But you see them being very careful taking the corners.
Well, that was the interesting thing, is we saw that brief collection of cars on the runoff area at this hairpin right here. I think that a lot of the drivers were expecting a little bit more grip than what they have in these wet conditions.
Thing is, of course, they have not driven the wet compound in any of these races until now. I mean, it's the first time, and they may not be accustomed. Also, I'm not sure how much test the wet compound of these mods has gotten.
Yes, unfortunately, wet weather and wet compounds are something that aren't as deeply looked into as the dry weather running. Oh, there's going to be a bit of touch there. Yeah. As Kamenos goes to second position in the 32 car. Good showing from him, just up behind Gaspar Mrak. But yes, the wet weather tends to be neglected for the dry weather counterparts in sim racing. A lot of drivers don't enjoy their wet weather driving, so to find someone who's willing to drive in these wet conditions and do that testing is slightly more difficult. And with how with the seasons that we're in, the likelihood of them having a wet race as well is significantly reduced as well.
True that.
Antonis Paparanopoulos, a man who I was on track with on Sunday.
At your Le Mans 24 hours?
24 hours of Le Mans was on the weekend. Yep, absolutely. Goes to second position and is the first driver to truly challenge that pole position of Gasper Mrak. Still 4/10 off, but better than the over a second that we've seen from anyone else prior to him as yet.
Were you driving with him or against him?
I was driving against him. I think he was in an LMP2 and I was in a hypercar.
Oh, okay.
So
you were not really driving against each other.
It wasn't against each other. Yeah, that's why I hesitated. Technically, it was against each other, but it wasn't. But some very, very aggressive moves and driving from Paparanopoulos in the race event that didn't get him any penalties. Credit where it is due. But you can tell that he's been driving these Clio Cup cars by how well he was able to fight in the P2, put it that way. Really good fun. One of those things that reminds you very, very quickly of what's good about R Factor 2 and why we like it so much.
So it was R Factor 2?
It was R Factor 2,
the race in Le Mans? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No red flags, so kudos to EERC. They managed to do what the virtual Le Mans series couldn't do, and make keep a server stable for 24 hours.
Who knows how many drivers they had compared to virtual Le Mans.
So the race started with I think it was 47 entries.
Oh, okay. So that's a lot.
There was it was a vast ribbon of cars making their way to the initial start. But yes, fantastic. We will focus on the Clios, obviously, as Jakob Kowalski goes to first, deposing Gasper Mrak of his provisional pole position. Now Gasper, obviously, still on track and circulating, so we'll have potentially one more opportunity.
Well, I think what we may very well see is something similar to what happens in other series when it's raining. That rain makes qualifying a little bit crazy.
Yes, and we'll have to see as well if this weather actually translates into the race as well, because it was raining and now it's dry. So will the amount of moisture on the track translate as well?
Well, if I was the drivers, I would have a browser opened with the satellite image of Zandvoort saying, okay, what the heck is going on here?
Yep, absolutely. But you can only drive the track that you're given, and today these drivers have been given. You can see how the track is starting to dry out and that dry line is starting to form. That's going to go away for each of their sprint races, I have no doubt whatsoever. So it's going to be an interesting evening of racing on an absolutely fantastic race course.
And nope, Buck is on third
position.
Behind Paparinopoulos and Kowalski.
Wow. So Paparinopoulos takes the pole in the end with a 1:26.043. So, to remind everybody of the format very, very quickly, the first race will have the top 10 reversed from this qualifying session. Second race will be the top 10 reversed from the results of the first race, and then the final feature race, 25 minutes, will be set by this qualifying grid here. So, first pole position will be Vladislav Senkov, in the number 5 car. Nicholas Paletti in the 43 will start alongside him in second. Raul Silvestre will start the 64 from third position, and Nevin Andrijasevic will start in fourth. Fifth will be Georgios Kamenos with Alvaro Incausti,
I would say.
Incausti.
But
Yes,
I don't know
there's an S
where
there.
he's come, so maybe it's in Chausti.
Yes, in sixth position. Seventh will be Carlos Abezander. Really good showing for one of the Abezanders at least. Gaston Rack, as stated, will start eighth. Ninth will be Jakub Kowalski, and 10th, and with all of the work to do, with all of the hard work that he has already put into the driving that he has completed, will be Antonis Papranopoulos. But secured the feature pole has Antonis Papranopoulos, so that will be check 1 off the mark, off the list. Secure pole position for the feature race. 25 points if he can hold it all together for the feature race.
And the rain gods are with him and all that.
Yes, absolutely. There's always been this saying in racing, both on sim racing and in real racing, rain is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Rain is when you separate the real racers from the hot lappers. And seeing Papranopoulos at the top of the qualifying session, that's unsurprising to me. And we are back to dry-ish weather. Oh my goodness, there are just the slightest hints of puddles here, I think. There is... Oh, it's almost dry. 12th position, Jero Kalea is the first in the queue. Take to the track.
Yeah, the track is... there's puddles.
It's not dry and it's not wet. There are the occasional puddles.
And you know the worst thing of this kind of weather is the sun is shining.
Mm-hmm.
So you have reflections from the wet parts of the track.
Yep.
So it's not easy to drive. I mean, it's not easy to drive in this kind of weather. It's even less easy to race in this kind of weather.
It's going to be a challenging 5 minutes. Thankfully, this track is more than wide enough to accommodate these
5
Clios.
laps. 5 laps.
What did I say?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. That was. Yep. You see, this is the problem with when you conflate the two, is you end up confusing your commentators. 5 laps of this national Zandvoort circuit will have lots of space, and I have no doubt we're going to see lots of side-by-side action through that final sweeping right-hander onto the start-finish straight as our camera car goes through now. There is still a significant amount of puddling on the outside of the track, isn't there?
So I got the information why Marc Carol is not there, and he's got very good reason to not be racing with the ASRC. He's occupied with real life racing.
Oh, superb. Well, Mark, congratulations on the real world racing. We wish you all the best of luck. Go well. And hopefully we will get to hear of your escapades soon.
Because maybe the listeners, the viewers of this channel don't know, but Marc Carol is, I think, a semi-professional race driver on his own right.
Yes, and take parts in, clearly he takes part in regular racing on a regular basis.
But I think he drives tin tops, right?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Give me a moment.
I've been dying to have that conversation with him, but obviously with the language barrier and me clearly being at fault for not learning one of the most fantastic languages that there are, that being Spanish,
He drives. At least he drove Seat Leons.
He drove the Super Copa. Yes, he did. So, front-wheel drive race cars, his specialty.
Interesting. There's a wiki page in the English-spoken Wikipedia about Mark, but not in the Spanish-spoken Wikipedia. Because
really?
Why? Yeah, Wikipedia is strange in this kind of way. When we meet at the Sim Racing Expo, I can tell you a couple of stories about German Wikipedia and how the admins of the German Wikipedia think they are the second coming of God.
Oh no!
Yeah, they're risible.
That's terrible.
Like the cliche of the computer nerd sitting at home, hacking on his computer, thinking that he is God's answer to humanity.
I see.
That's kinda that they fit that cliche, sadly.
Yep, I totally understand that. That's unfortunate, I think it's fair to say.
In any case, the English-spoken Wikipedia has a page about Marc Carol, who drove 2005 and 2010 in the Complete World Touring Car Championship. What the heck is a Complete World Touring Car?
Complete World Touring Car. Give me a second. I think he took part in the whole thing, basically.
Okay. So it's a WTCR.
Yes, he's a WTCR driver.
Well, WTCC at that time, it's 2005 and 2010.
So it's the Super Copas, the big cars.
Yeah. Weren't they diesel cars?
They were, absolutely. If I remember correctly, the 1.9 TDI, not common rail, PD 190s at stock.
I always found it so incredibly funny that it was 4 years, the diesel Seats were dominating the WTCC.
Yes. Yeah. It shows just how good the Seat development can be when they put their mind to it. Because the quality of the engineering that went into those cars, my goodness, it was art. It was genuine art. And even looking at the new TCRs, the Cupra
Leon.
No, they're Ibiza. Nope.
Okay. But there's also a Cupra Leon.
There is also a Cupra Leon, but the Ibiza model TCR is so much bigger than any of the other TCR cars, and you can tell that Seat takes their touring car very seriously. I'm trying to see how many years Audi dominated the Le Mans, or when they brought their first diesel engine.
By the way, the Cupra Leon EV is crap.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been next year I'm giving back my EV that I'm driving now. The 4 years of leasing. It started raining again. The 4 years of leasing are over, so I've been testing a lot of EVs.
Yes.
And I tested the Cupra Leon, and it was the finish of that car is horrendous. I don't know who did the QA, but they should be flogged with a wet noodle.
I know that I'm bordering on the blasphemous by saying this, but have you looked at the new Prius?
No, I haven't, because as I want to take an EV. It's gonna end up being the Nissan Ariya.
All right, yeah, very nice car. Very nice car as
Yeah,
well.
I don't like
I thought-
SUVs that much, but there was
It's
almost
useful.
nothing else to have. Like most of the cars have been SUVs. I am not going near a Tesla
Yeah,
because the quality is horrible.
Yep.
Like I could build myself
Yep.
all
You
alone
could-
a better car than that
You could make
one.
a kit car that had best build quality. I totally get that.
absolutely.
No, I thought they did actually had it as a full EV now, or is it still hybrid?
The Prius is a hybrid. I don't think Toyota is not making a full EV. Toyota is
Yeah, they're going hydrogen,
waiting
aren't they?
for the day when hydrogen
Yes.
cars are
Yes.
hip.
The hydrogen ICE that's going to save the internal combustion engine with its several gallons per per mile of efficiency.
Well, it's hydrogen, so
Yeah. There's we can hope and pray for the future of the internal combustion engine for sure.
I think hopes and prayers are going to be the only thing that's left, but that's a discussion for another day. We are about to start the first 5-lap race. We're going to start with a warm-up lap, and then we're going to start the race. And if I see it correctly, yeah, it's raining.
It has gone back to rainy conditions, and again, this formation lap will end up being more of a sighter than anything else.
Yeah. Where's the puddles? Where is it really wet?
Well,
where don't I want to drive and all that?
You say, where are the puddles? This is one of the beauties of R Factor 2. Is so ACC, the puddles are awful. Rain conditions generally are awful in ACC. Project Cars 2, and by extension AMS2 in its earlier iterations, they've since dialed it back. The puddles were death. If you went in a puddle, it was going to spin you, regardless of whether you're in a Clio Cup car or if you're in a Le Mans prototype. R Factor 2 strikes the balance between the two. Beautiful wet driving. Absolutely, as you're seeing from the stream, wonderfully realistic amounts of spray as well. And so this sighter lap may actually be a critical part of race preparation for all of these drivers. Don't break on the white lines. Look for where there is extra space that you can use. Where are the puddles going to be, as Serta rightly said? And how are you going to change your racing line dependent on where the grip is on the track?
And how are you gonna avoid the spray of the one in front of you?
Absolutely. If we start seeing alternative lines, there may be drivers taking wide lines and alternate lines in the race or races coming up while it's raining, because the grip is not always on the racing line anymore. Rain makes it different, and second place Paletti has his right tire in a puddle.
Oh, bother. And somebody behind trying to warm up the tires. That's gonna be difficult, mate.
It's key at this late stage, but we wait for the countdown.
I'm not saying that it's not key, I'm saying it's difficult.
It's very, very difficult.
Let's see how the start in the wet. It's gonna be about the first start in the wet these guys do. How the start in the wet it's gonna be. There we go. Run and there we go. First wet. Ooh, Zenkov doesn't start well.
Paletti's got him up the inside into first.
Puddle or no puddle, did start better.
Very clean.
Who was that? Kamenos just saw the place and went for it.
Oh wow!
Great.
That was a daring dive in towards turn one.
But very good.
Absolutely.
And he's trying the same. And
Silvestre
that
sideways.
was not a good idea. That was a very, sorry to say, very stupid thing to do.
And there's a further altercation going down the track as well. As I'm watching the video for some reason rather than looking at the live timing. And it will be Pavel Ivashkin to 19th position, having to drive back down the track to turn round.
Kamenos is driving a little bit too aggressive for these conditions. And he's got a penalty, I suppose, for the track limits. Yes, I was expecting that.
Oh my. Oh, already?
10 seconds. 10 seconds penalty for Kamenos for track limits.
So that's going to be very punishing. That might well drop him outside of the top 10. With 5 laps, he is going to need to be super aggressive and stay even cleaner than he is aggressive for the rest of this race to try and get as much of a gap as possible. Here's the other question. Oh, careful where you apply the throttle. I'm surprised we haven't seen. There's the wider lines. That's what I was expecting to see. That puddle on the apex of turn 1 could well, that is very, very aggressive.
Yeah, he's...
Is it aggressive, or is he set up for dry conditions and trying to cope with the wet weather and relatively failing? Because there's quite a bit. The rear end of that Clio is looking very, very lively, like it's not quite in contact with the ground.
I think it's aggressive. I mean, he may be set up for big hit from Poletti against Kamenos. And that's something that the stewards are going to be looking at after the race.
Yep, and now the 32 and the 43 having a little argument amongst themselves. And, yeah, Kamenos has pushed. Hang on. I wish we had a replay. I wish we had we could get the replay up. Pushes the 88 car. Who is the 88 car? Matti Sola into the wall at the chicane. So I believe there may be some post-race penalties coming the way of Kamenos.
And the ASRC, they have the ban hammer prepared for such situations. They don't twiddle around. But that's helped Zenkov and Abizanda, who are now first and second, and
Gasper
surprise, surprise, exactly.
All the way to third. They say that rain is the great equalizer. I don't think it is in this particular case.
Oh, who is this Mrak going sideways, but keeping control of the car.
Keeping it all together for the time being. See if
doing
he's
some rallycross. It looks like
it's approaching the right condition for rallycross, to be fair. But I think we are about settled down.
I don't think so.
I think it's
Mrak is trying to find a hole.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. 5 for the lead. I was thinking further down the field, where there are lots of. Oh, it looks to the inside, coming down in towards turn 1. Mrak's gonna have it done before they even get to turn 1.
Yeah. There we go.
Block pass and done. Wheel in the puddle. That's not going to hurt too much under braking. It's under throttle that it can affect you, but it doesn't seem to dissuade Gasper Mrak in that 89 car. Second position then. Oh, finally.
Oh, and Poletti has had another issue, it seems, as he drops to 10th. No, even... Ugh. I cannot... I'm trying to get Poletti. There he is. He's DNF'd. So I was trying to find him, but every time that I clicked on his name, it was not his name anymore because he was dropping like a stone.
What's happened here then? Oh, okay. Oh, no. So, Antonis Paparanopoulos.
Again?
Set the fastest lap.
So no, Paparanopoulos.
Yep. who set the fastest lap in qualifying, ran wide through turn 1. Legitimate line, you can outbrake yourself and cut back in, but he lost too much time. He was far too fast in towards turn 1, only just kept it on the tarmac by a couple of inches, came back to get the drive out of the corner, and there was a 43 car in the way, completely unsighted. If he had a radar,
I was not looking at it.
If he had a radar, he definitely wasn't looking at it for sure.
So while you were explaining what happened, Mrak was trying to get on the inside, but Zenkov went on the inside. That forced Mrak to take first corner on the outside, and he just could not make that pass. But he's trying again. Oh, he's on the inside, but he's gonna be on the outside on the next one. Whoa! Zenkov loses a little bit of control, which Abizanda is trying to use. Nope.
Abizanda was just trying to take his corner there. I don't think he was necessarily looking for the attack. The cars just kind of came to him. This time looking to the inside, but a very legitimate block. Beautifully handled there by Zenkov. Not being aggressive, just reminding Mrak that he has the track position at the moment. Now it's going to be around the outside. Now this is the opportunity that this is the best opportunity that Mrak is going to have. It's going to put him on the wrong side, but up on the banking, he can drive around the outside
faster.
Buffalo Gal style, maintains the higher speed. You should be commentating this part. This is oval racing. This is.
True that. And yeah, we finished the.
Oh no. Oh,
no,
okay,
the race has already finished, so Zenkov was just messing around. We finished the 5-lap race with Mrak on first, Zenkov on second, Abizanda on third, Andriy Jasevich on fourth, and Calleja on fifth. And there's gonna be words about
driving standards.
Yeah,
that's unsurprising. So the pole the pole position for race 2. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Raul Silvestre will take pole position. Clemen Sejisak will line up in second. Third will be Juan Mafuentes. Fourth, second row of the grid for Antonis Paparanopoulos. Less cars in the way this time. 7 points potentially up for grabs. He missed out in the first race, just about. But next race has a lot less work to do. Jakub Kowalski will start 5th. 6th will be Jaro Kalia. 7th will be Neven Andriasevich. Carlos Abizanda in 7th. 8th, sorry. I knew I said that first time. Vlad Zenkov 9th. And Gaspar Mrak with all the work to do. Tell me I haven't said this before. Again in 10th position.
Well, you know... So what?
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, a small comment of Juanma Fuentes about this race. My god, this car is fun AF on the rain.
A mod that you can get fresh off the Steam Workshop.
Yep. ASRC always publish their mods and they test their mods, and it's on the workshop of R Factor 2, and soon you will be able to race this car in another sim, and I'm not telling because I got the mod beta handed to me. I have still to test it, so there's gonna be another sim where this Clio is gonna be racing, this Clio from the ASRC.
What I'm hearing is I got the key twice.
Well, you can download it too because I put the link in our so
that is
we got the key this time.
We got the key. Yes. Absolutely. But a lovely 5-minute departure. Noel G is in YouTube chat. Good evening, Noel. Asking, where's the shadow of the vehicles? It looks so fake.
Well, you know, with no sun, there is no shadow.
Yes. In reality, with the weather looking like it's brightening up. Yep. you should start seeing a slightly more quote-unquote realistic shadow effect on the cars. As Raul Silvestre, the man who will be leading them away, will take to the track. I see shadows, and I have my settings set significantly lower.
Yeah, but it's still quite wet.
It's a little bit dim, but yes.
Maybe I should have the contrast higher. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what it is.
I've been fiddling with the settings a couple of times this week to have it stutter less, but none of the settings that I was trying out were helping.
What we'll do is we'll make a sim hub tower that we just use for everything, regardless of the sim, and that's how you'll know you're watching Vroom Vroom is when you get that quintessential tower.
Because this, we do know that on R Factor 2, the tower or any kind of projection on top of the race is what makes it slower. Which is stupid, but it's the way it is.
It is probably just an unoptimized process that they've got in at the moment. They've rammed it in quickly so that they can, use it for Le Mans.
Yeah, but these guys have been this year.
They didn't use it.
They've had it for years inside of R Factor 2. So.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a relatively recent addition.
Nah, it's something like 2 years, 3 years. I would have to look it up, but it's already. It should be already time and tested and whatever, but it isn't. Because, the development of R Factor 2 is all over the place.
Yes.
Unluckily.
As if you watch our weekly news roundups, you would know.
Let's see what comes out of Le Mans Ultimate.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. What R Factor 2 needs in reality is to be taken in by a developer who, again, I'm sure we've had this. Don't know if we've had this conversation in public, but we've definitely had it in private. R Factor 2 needs looking after, and it needs the work putting in to make it as good as it can be. Someone like Ritzer or Kunos who've shown that they have no issue whatsoever with putting the development time in. But at this point, as you say, let's see what comes out of Le Mans Ultimate. I don't think that it's going to be game changing. I think that what we're seeing is the last gasps of motorsport games.
That for sure.
Well, we haven't seen that. We're not seeing the last of the Easy engine because that will live on in the form of AMS2.
True that, but it's very deep in AMS2 and it doesn't disturb that much. There's some calculations in the Easy engine, but most of what we see in AMS2 is madness. But yes, you're right that there is some Easy inside of AMS2.
Yeah. So it's shocking that Ritzer have managed to make those two engines play so well together.
Well, that's what
they do.
That's what you get when you have people who love to hack, who have already done mods for the Easy engine, who are fiddling and who are they bite into something and they don't let go until it submits to their will in the code.
Men and women after my own heart.
Yeah, like really. And you can see it by the different physics they've set up inside. I mean, they are even calculating the torque of the shaft, how it influences the bodywork.
Yep.
I mean, my mind boggles the calculations that go into that. But of course, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a programmer of Sims, so maybe it's easy, but I think it's quite a complex stuff.
Oh, of course. Good grief. Showing another simulator, and I will call it that, that shows just how complex you can go, and again, another massively impressive development house is BeamNG.
Yeah, true.
Who use exactly the same measurements and put exactly the same calculations into their soft body simulator. It's just that obviously with the soft body physics of BeamNG, you actually see the juddering, whereas obviously AMS2 a lot more focused on keeping the cars slightly more in one piece than BeamNG. But yeah, as Noel says, Renato from Riesa has petrol in his blood. I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Probably 102 octane as well.
And judging by what I hear from the developers that I've talked to, he has a mix of petrol and coffee in his blood because he is able to work to do all-nighters time and time again when things are not going the way that he wants.
He might just have ADHD and he gets hyper-focused on coding.
Can be. Wouldn't be the only one, wouldn't be the first one.
Exactly.
Most of the developers I know, and I work in IT, I've been working for the past 25 years. Most of the developers I know are on the spectrum anyway.
Yep.
So they are able to hyper focus on something.
Yep.
So much so that sometimes you have to send them home. You've been working for 12 hours. Go home.
Yeah, I was going to say, you say they're able to hyperfocus as if it's a choice.
True that.
It's a compulsion. It's fantastic. The thing is, it's just a different way of thinking, and there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
There needs to be more acceptance in the world for how people work best.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second race of the session, and that track is looking drier again.
Yeah, no, there's puddles in there.
There's still puddles, but there is a distinct area of the track that is now looking dry. There is a distinct dry line on the track. The drivers have clearly been doing their work trying to get some kind of racing line in order here. I wonder
by the way, the weather is real-time weather. The time of the day is not real-time.
No,
because
absolutely.
it's getting dark here, and I'm kind of at the same level than Zandvoort, than the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Like on a straight line to the west, I would land in the Netherlands. I don't know if I would land in Zandvoort, but
okay. Yeah, Zandvoort's literally on the coast. If you which button is it? If you press the end key, you can actually look across the start finish grid and browse off to the right, and the ocean is actually there. So once again, really faithful rendering in R-Factor 2. Oh, did it not to go to the first?
It didn't.
One. Oh well.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we are on the warm-up lap. Vestry on first, Mrak on 10th, but as you rightfully said, we're gonna see him in the first, second, or third place at the end of the race.
You've jinxed him now, clearly.
Nah. Not Mrak. I think his style of driving doesn't care about that. Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very measured and shows just how talented that man is. Absolutely.
I think that Papanopoulos is a man to watch through the course of this race as well. I would be very surprised if we didn't see him taking the lead early on. As long as he can navigate the drivers ahead without having an altercation with them, I can well imagine that Papadopoulos is going to get in front and start to drift away at the head of the field.
The drivers were daring each other to use slicks on Discord.
Oh, perfect.
And one answered, no, not worth it for a 5-lap race. Not gonna think about it.
It's the thing is that it's not going to dry up enough in 5 laps to be able to be worth it. 25 minutes, the next race,
maybe
I would seriously consider it. It would be a serious 50-50 as to whether I want to make the wets last or go as far as is Sedusak worked something out? He has. No, he was just outside of his starting box. I wonder if he has tried to get some wheel spin to warm the front tires up.
And second race is on. Ooh,
oh,
very
it's
bad
a
start.
stall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oof,
and a disconnection.
what the heck?
It's so unfortunate for the second place Sedusak.
Poletti has a penalty. And Juanma Fuentes is taking over the first place.
Yep, Silvestri not able to hold on from the banana yellow car of Fuentes. A lot more measured, I think it's fair to say. This time, it's too wide coming in to the first of the bank corners. For the first time of asking, Dolnik on the outside, but everyone filtering in. A lot more measured.
Kowalski again with his shenanigans. That's gonna bring some words after the race.
Yeah, I just heard a big crash. Let's see where this came from. Zenkov got it wrong. Zenkov got it wrong right into the side of Valadares.
Rock already on 8th. Does it only look like that, or are they driving slower than they were in the first race?
I think that they're about the same pace. What's their lap time as they come around towards the start line for the first time of asking? I think they're being a bit more measured. I dare say that there may have been words, as you say. No, that is.
Oh, what was that?
Oh no!
Silvestre goes into the line of Fuentes. Fuentes has nowhere to go. And turns Silvestre. That was unnecessary. That was, and Fuentes, he cannot disappear into thin air. So I don't know what Silvestre was doing there. Maybe he lost control of the car, and Silvestre has DNF'd.
He's gone. He's gone back to the pits. Yeah, in fairness, he made several contacts with the wall there.
Yeah. These helps
he went to go defensive too late. That's what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, at least use crew chief. It's gonna tell you if there's somebody there, and if there's somebody there, don't go there.
No, of course. Absolutely.
The laws of physics in our universe tell you that 2 cars cannot use the same space.
2 into 1 don't go, and suddenly Antonis Papadopoulos has been gifted a second position and is hunting down the team car, I believe.
Yep.
Of Jakub Kowalski. Now, that's the other thing, is Kowalski's quite quick. Is Papadopoulos going to push the issue with Jakub, or is he going to just play the team game behind the number 1 car and get that second position? Puente is still circulating. Gabizanda is still in 4th position. Yep. I think
Calleja and Fuentes already almost had a moment there.
Looks like Callier is looking for the opportunity on the inside of Fuentes as well. Oh, big stop.
That corner is not easy.
That's very slow through there as well. I wonder if Andrzejewicz has a bit of damage. You can see the dry line there now.
Yeah, it's starting
There is a definite dry line, but it's nowhere near enough of the track to be able to consider being on slicks. And coming up,
I'm getting told on Discord that there's a couple of drivers that are already on slicks. That's not the best idea, in my opinion, but okay.
Do we know who they are?
Nope.
That's a shame.
Let me check.
There is a live racers, I think. Give me a second. So, where's the live racers gone?
Yeah, but you have to go check each and every one. I'm trying to find out.
We're both trying to do research.
So yeah, I'm trying to find out in the camera control of R Factor 2. There is some things that you can see.
Yep.
And I thought one of them was here, data controls. Tire name.
And again. Oh, tire name.
So Paparinopoulos is on slicks, Kowalski on wets, Abizanda on slicks, Andrzejewicz on wets, Calleja on slicks, and so on and so forth. You can see it.
Oh, Zenkov and Stepanenko come together. Stepanenko, sorry. And Savaliev will get involved with it as well. They are pushing very hard. Go on.
Holland on slicks.
Who was it that initiated that contact, though? Oh, Nick. Oh no,
six.
Nick got on the curb and absolutely T-boned Zenkov. And then, yeah, Savaliev tried to brake in avoidance, locked all four wheels up, and tapped the Clio as well. So Stepanenko, I wouldn't even call it a little bit of brain fade. I think that he's carrying a little bit too much at the moment.
We are already on the last lap.
We are already
That's
on the last lap.
Fast these races are.
They're a good length, though. I like this length of length of race as Gasparak gets up to 5th position in the points for this sprint race and sticking on the wet line. On the dry line.
Yeah, so, and you can clearly see that it's dried up.
Keep the outside tyre on that dry line. That's where all of the grip is going to be now.
Yeah,
love how these wet races throw the cats amongst the pigeons.
So Paparinopoulos seems like he's posed to win the race. He does. And who's gonna be second? Kowalski. Abizanda was looking, but I think they're in the same team anyway.
Abizanda is running a different livery for sure, but they may well be in a similar team. Jared Calleja taking 4th position.
Rack 5th. Surprisingly, I was seeing him in one of the first, second, or third places. So.
I think he had an altercation. He was involved in one of the incidents, I think. So he may well have been carrying an amount of damage. But a much cleaner go of things this time around. Much less incidents. And more opportunity for fighting and passing amongst all of the drivers this time.
So I expect for the 25-minute race that all the drivers are going to go on slicks.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the majority of drivers on slicks, unless there are drivers who really aren't confident with the setup of their car. But again, there's no reason. I don't know why they would do that. The only thing, I don't know if they can mix compounds. My only thought.
Nope.
Yeah.
As far as I know, you cannot do that on R Factor 2.
Oh, you can. You can mix front and rear
Yes?
compounds. Yeah.
Okay. So you can put wets at front and slicks at the back?
Well, if anything, I would go wets on the back and slicks on the front. Because if you get understeer, you can let off the throttle and regain that turn-in.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of the control in that instance. Whereas if you run slicks on the rear and wets on the front and you burn out those wet tires, you're going to have no grip whatsoever. And it's a 25-minute race. A pit stop means you're out of it.
No, Juan Fuentes has connection issues.
Oh no.
I saw somebody disappearing, but I wasn't able to find out who it was until he said that he was having connection.
That's really unfortunate.
I hope he can solve them before the race. Got 5 minutes to solve them.
Yeah, I was say, yeah, we've got 5 minutes. Sometimes it's as simple as a restart. Sometimes it will go and never come back. But,
Been there, done that.
100%. 100%. If anything, we have one very, very big advantage, is that we are just spectating. So the likelihood of us crashing out is significantly lower.
Yes and no, and who knows. So let's knock on wood, because I've had some electrical issues in the last days that made my my internet go down.
Oh, that's really peculiar.
No, it's because the box that translates the communication between
your router?
No, not the router.
Okay.
Well, to call it away, the modem between fiber and my
Copper.
and my internet.
Yes.
So it's a modem. It's a modem.
But it doesn't have wireless facility.
Well, that doesn't have wireless facility, and it would not help because that one is on the electrical on the same electrical. So it gets the electricity from the one connection that has been bothering me the last days.
Ah, yeah. Right,
So
okay.
I would have to take a long electricity cable and put it into another box in the wall to get. So I could solve the issue if it would go down right now. I would be able to solve the issue in something like 5 minutes. Yeah. But still, I prefer not to have to.
Yeah, of course. It's not something that you can leave a trailing lead around the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a shame I'm 2 countries over. Otherwise, I could just replace the. It's probably just the wall socket that's the issue.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because it's the socket that gets the electricity to my EV. And I've been checking all the connections, and all the connections should be okay. And in fact, I was going to do a long test, like up and down and down and up, or every connection and so on. And then it worked. And I was like, thank you. Great.
Of course. Now you start working. Yeah.
The moment you're prepared to do extensive tests and to find out what is going wrong is the moment when it starts going right. And you're like, whatever.
So do you charge off of a... Oh, wow. Now I'm going to show which country I'm from, if the accent doesn't give it away. So do you charge from a normal plug top then, your EV?
Yep.
And it takes like overnight to charge.
Oh, it takes 24 hours to charge completely.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So-
I don't mind because I normally don't need to drive 300 kilometers.
Yeah, of course. So, and in reality, it's better if you don't fully charge it anyway for the cells. So, makes a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It should not make any difference.
Oh, okay.
It should. I'm being careful here. And for the next EV, I'm getting a wall box because I have a high voltage connection here.
Yeah.
Many houses in Germany do have a high voltage connection because the stoves run on high voltage.
Your stoves? What, on 3-phase?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And therefore I'm gonna I already have the connection, I already have the high voltage, so I'm gonna get an electrician to put a cable, so to speak, to the wall box and be able to load my next EV, maybe this, but my next EV with higher voltage, 240.
Hey, Serta, do you know who's a qualified electrician in the UK?
In the UK, but not in Germany.
No, of course not in Germany.
And
I can't believe that you have 3-phase to your properties. Oh, is this a dry track? Oh no, it's still some. Oh,
kinda. It's drier.
It's much drier.
The puddles have disappeared.
Oh, it's much drier. Oh, we are in for a treat for this final 25 minutes.
The puddles have not disappeared completely. There's a couple of damp places.
We are approaching dry.
Yeah.
This is going to be an all-out barn fight, whatever you call it. This is going to be an incredible race. And Antonis Paparanopoulos is going to lead the drivers away in completely different conditions to what they started this evening in.
Yeah, 25 minutes on the almost kinda dry.
Oh my goodness. So, predictions? Or are we beyond that now?
Mrak. Mrak is starting on third. If he drives cleverly and he's shown that he's more than able to do that, he'll end up first because he knows where to go and where to take the places.
Yes. Does that give me... I'm trying to work out which overlays now cause the big dips. So the driver box seems to be okay. That doesn't affect.
Nah, like any overlay. Let's get rid of all the overlays.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, I'm just it's more intrigue than anything else.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if I would have it on banner, it would be worse.
Oh, it would absolutely be worse. Yes. Yeah, totally agree. Such a shame. Such a shame. So if I can find time, I do have a day off this weekend. I do have a day off work this week, so I will try to get something unique and distinctly vroom going.
All right. I'm all for that. So it's dry and sunny.
It's dry and sunny,
which it should not be because it's getting dark here. But well, anyway, it's dry.
It's dried up is the main thing.
And let me check, but I expect all to be on slicks. Where are you?
Where is Zandvoort?
They're turning. Somebody... No, they're all on slicks. They're all on slicks.
That makes absolute sense.
Yep.
So, the weather at Zandvoort has We are in a patch of dry weather between two wet weather fronts at the moment.
Whoa, let's hope that the patch takes 25 minutes or we're gonna see a lot of
If I remember
drifting around.
If I remember correctly, it does refresh every 10 or 15 minutes. So expect a weather update soon.
And we're on.
A much cleaner start this time. Antonis Papadopoulos goes defensive straight away. He wants this victory.
But
Gasparak
is
going to stick around the outside of his teammate, but can't get the drive off the corner and is able to close the door.
He's on third, yeah.
At the back of the field, we're all 2x2, but fairly safe. Jakub Kowalski making it.
Gets the short line and
makes it work. I love these banked corners. I love these banked corners so much at Zandvoort. There's so much more opportunity to race and so many different lines you can take, as proven by Jakub there. First time at the hairpin. They're still side by side further down the field, but everybody gets through nice and safely.
Yeah. Okay. I was just checking out if they were. Okay, so the dry line is completely dried up. The outside of the dry line, it's damp.
It's damp, yeah. You don't need to absolutely avoid it, but you are going to want to get on that dry line as soon as you can to get some heat into these slick tires.
Yeah.
Soften the rubber up, get that grip that it offers you, and then when you do have to stray onto the wet tarmac, the sections that are still wet, there will be the residual heat in the tires to allow you to survive that grip. As 3 into 1 don't go for Nick Stepanenko again. Vladislav Senkov and Carlos Valderes coming together at turn 1. And Sejusak falling away as well in 16th. What's happened there? Is that a pedal failure or...
What we've seen while we were discussing the line was Kowalski not really having to fight to get on first position. Paparinopoulos not waving him through, but also not fighting it very much. Mrak takes it easy for now. I mean, it's 22 and a half minutes until the end of the race. So Mrak knows that he's going to have more than enough opportunities. So for now, he's taking it easy, as we've seen him do many times. But he shouldn't be taking it too easy, because Abizanda is looking dangerous.
Oh no. Mrak on the defensive. We know how excellent he is at defending his line. Is that? I'm just trying to see, because Klemen Sejusak came to an almost standstill on the exit of turn 1. No damage or anything. It looks like he got his pit limiter stuck on.
Oop. That's another thing. Stepanenko in pit. Is he changing to wets? I would be surprised.
I doubt it.
No reason to do that.
No, but he was involved in an altercation just now. So
Stepanenko DNF'd.
DNF'd, yeah. So we'll take no further part. Sejusak with technical issues. And damage on that car in a big way as well.
So we have a train of Kowalski, Paparinopoulos, then a little bit further away, Mrak and Abizanda. Kowalski doing the best lap time. We're going to be seeing them on every lap while the track dries up.
Side by side for Paletti and Incosti. in 6th and 7th position. Paletti secures the position or defends it. It looked as though he had the overspeed coming off of the bank section. Just trying to see further down as well. They're all fairly spread out. I think there has been a little bit of a separation in pace as the weather has dried up.
Possible.
But Silvestre has Andrijasevic in close quarters company, but no attack being made by Neven as yet for that 9th position.
The front ruck getting nearer to Kowalski.
Is he bringing Abizander with him?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to be the key in this race, is if he can bring Abizander, if he can coordinate 2 cars from 2 different teams to chase the leading 2, and Mrak can get in between Papranopoulos and Kowalski. Papranopoulos with the fastest lap of the race, my goodness. What a time.
But as I said, it was to be expected. With every lap, the track is getting drier. The damp places are disappearing. So
Absolutely.
Even if you go a little bit outside of the dry line, you don't get any issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, one of the great things about R-Factor 2 is how it handles the wet weather, and you are eventually given parts of the track that you can use. Much like in real life, you have to assess each lap as you go. A completely dry Le Mans, by the way, which was really frustrating. I was so upset. I was so ready for drifting hypercars. For the fastest lap of the race so far, Yero Kalea in 5th position. In clear air, clearly able to circulate faster than the cars ahead of him. But he will soon be catching up to this top 4 and the yellow car across the top of the screen. 5th place, hunting the top 4 now.
And Mrak in, yeah.
Here we go.
Mrak goes on the inside. He's trying to get... Ooh, Paparinopoulos going sideways, but Mrak going wide and losing the 2nd position that he already had.
Wrong corner to be taking the outside line.
Yeah.
But what is he going to learn from these previous races? A wide line. Wide. Even wider for Kowalski there. But that's going to give him the straight line speed out of the corner.
On that corner, as it's a banked corner, it doesn't hurt that much because you can take it faster.
It's a risk. To take the outside line, but the benefits far outweigh that risk if you have a teammate behind you. And this is what this racing is all about: is these team racers who are working together to keep the championship leader, let's not forget, at bay. And also the man with the fastest lap of the race with a 1:22.578 set last time round. Gasper Mrak has got the Clio where he wants it.
But now he's not in such a good position to overtake as he was in the lap before.
No, but I don't think he's going to go for the pass through turn 1 this time round, as Paparinopoulos is going to have a quick look up against his teammate. Gasper Mrak getting it all crossed up under braking. A little line of rubber left on the ground. But this is where he's going to be wanting to press his attack towards Paparinopoulos. Take that big high line, use the throttle, wrap it back to the inside, and get that straight line speed onto the back straight.
And they all take the 180 very, very close.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a few different lines being used there. I would expect more of a parabolic racing line to be taken to get the car straighter earlier, to get the higher top speed, much like coming out onto the straight up towards that 180 hairpin. The cut through for the national circuit. I'd expect people to be taking a slightly different line to try and get that straight line speed back down towards the stadium section.
Mac would be in overtaking. Ooh,
He's
loses
close.
a little bit. Yeah, but he lost control there of the car for a second.
I think he's been listening to me a little bit too much and has decided that it's off camera. Clio has overtaken Alexander. When has that happened? For 4th and 5th. Yellow car to the 4th position. See how that happened. Do we need to feel bad? No, we don't. That's absolutely fine. Alexander got it wrong going in towards turn 1, and Clio went thank you very much on the brakes and took the position from him. Fairly simple pass in the end. Is this an open series?
You mean if everybody can drive? Yes. Go to the. Let me get the link to the Discord of the ASRC and yes. But there's not many races left, by the way.
No.
Unluckily.
But being in the ASRC Discord is a very good place to be.
Absolutely.
So we recommend that nonetheless.
So let me.
Also, if I get my way, then they'll develop an MX-5 mod for R Factor 2, and then we can have all of the best races.
So this is the link to the ASRC Discord. You can get in there and say, right, going on the inside.
Is that gonna work? Though?
Kowalski goes wide, too wide. And no, it's not gonna work. But Mrak is trying to find the hole. Is trying to find the place.
This is the line I was expecting more people to take. Gasper Mrak running wide at the entrance, cutting back, trying to get that overspeed. Here's a really good place to get a position on the brakes because you can dive up the inside if you're a little bit closer than Gasper Mrak was at that point, and essentially block past the car ahead of you. The cars have enough horsepower that second or two between getting the throttle on and not can make a massive difference. I think Gasper Mrak is sitting back because he can see what we can see as well. Papadopoulos, it has got a speed advantage coming down towards turn 1 on his teammate.
For the overtake. We go. And
has
what
Jakob,
the heck are they doing?
Goodness, this is one way to race with your teammates, and that was very much a Clio-sized car gap in the traffic, and no more for the second place driver. Interesting the shift that we've seen in this top 3, taking that really, really high line, trying to keep the momentum up. And then using there we go, out. Early apex there. I think that was a mistake by Papadopoulos, not being able to get to the apex. I wonder if they have a slightly different setup on their cars. And Papadopoulos is focusing on getting as much speed out of this Clio as possible on the straights.
In any case, Mrak looking left, looking right, trying to find the place.
Looking for his braking point into the penultimate corner. Yeah, he's so close to Kowalski at this point, and here's the opportunity for Gasper Mrak. It may not be a victory, but it might be getting in between the two teammates as once again goes right to the inside, back to the other side. And Papadopoulos also going defensive, bordering on two moves there.
Yeah, what Kowalski was doing, I'm not sure if it was okay.
Yeah, Kowalski,
I would say he was weaving around.
I think Kowalski did the right thing in making the one move to the inside and continuing to go to the inside. That was the key part.
Yeah, but here he loses. He's got more momentum, but not enough. Mrak has taken second place.
He's got the momentum, but loses the track position that he's had on Gasper Mrak the whole time. Gasper was too close for Kowalski to take that high line and not lose it on track position alone. Doesn't matter how much momentum you have, if you don't have the inside of that very gentle curve towards the hairpin at the top of the national circuit, you're not going to get past Gasper Mrak. And now Gasper free to attack without any other interruption. The leader of the race, Antonis Paparanopoulos, in the number 32 car.
On the other hand, let's see. Kowalski may try to get near to at least make Mrak nervous enough and defensive enough to not be able to overtake Paparanopoulos.
To focus Paparanopoulos. There is still a key team game to be played here.
Yeah.
Even if it's not possible. And Matti Sola is going to briefly switch positions, but is on the outside for turn 1. Gets it to sit around the outside, but wasn't able to make it work, unfortunately. The moves aren't coming off into turn 1 tonight. No. It's that high line.
I don't remember seeing that many in the races that I've seen in Zandvoort, and I've seen Mrak has the better go outside, and he's gonna have the inside.
Yep. This is the block pass for the lead.
Oh, that was not good. That was not well done by Paparanopoulos.
Yeah, Paparanopoulos turns down on a car that was 3/4 past him.
Yeah.
And you have to say that, again, that kind of wasn't on. And that's the aggression that we saw, or we have seen from Paparanopoulos through all of these races. He drives how he wants to be raced, and I think that Gasper starting to give as hard as he is taking as well, goes right to the inside. You want to do this, you've got to go the long way around. We've seen this happen. We saw it the last time round, and Paparanopoulos misses his braking zone ultra wide and is going to cede second position to Jakub Kowalski. Again, has the overspeed, but again, loses the track position, loses the next apex.
That first corner at Zandvoort is very difficult. You would think that it's easy because it doesn't look that difficult, but it's incredibly difficult. I've seen drivers with 20 years of experience missing the apex, and in the older times where there still was gravel, landing in the gravel and losing the race.
There's lots of ways to get round turn 1, but you need to be at the apex. There's a slightly higher gradient, what's the word? The curve on the track is slightly more pronounced just on the inside of turn 1, and you hook your front wheel into that little divot on the inside of the corner, and that's what drags you around. If you miss that, as we saw with Paparanopoulos just now, you are not getting to the apex. You are not going to get the grip advantage, and you're going to lose second position in the race.
Mrak's car got a little bit squirrely there, but
they're running the brake bias as far back as they possibly can to get the car to turn into these corners. The issue is that because obviously these cars are front wheel drive, when you brake, the rear wheels become unloaded, and that can lock up. That can cause half locking, and because the tires aren't being driven, it doesn't have the engine power to keep the wheels spinning, and that's where the instability comes from. Is that's the car communicating to the drivers, hey, you need to let off the brake a bit here.
And up and down things are calming. The hottest Racing is here on the 1st to 4th places. At the beginning of the race, I didn't know where to put the camera. Well, yeah, I put the camera on this battle, but on the other hand, I would have loved to have 3 cameras and show you all the battles that were going around.
Evening, Nick. No further participation for yourself tonight, I assume. Oh, Papranopoulos looking on the correct side in towards turn 1, but against his teammate, not quite as aggressive, it seems.
Timmy, so maybe there's well, not maybe. There's only two rounds left, but they drive all possible things, mostly open wheelers. And I think the Clio is the only... No, well, the Clio and the NASCAR are the only tin tops that they're driving, but they are expanding. ASRC is expanding.
NASCAR is good fun, to be fair. The NASCAR is very good fun.
Yeah, well, the race is not so much.
Yeah, the race is not so much, but the
car per se.
The car is fantastic. The racing is a little bit too close, I think is the nice way of putting it.
Yeah, if T-boning each other is too close, then I would say it's too close. And it's 4 minutes until the end of the race, so that I think it's gonna be 3 or 4 laps.
Yep.
Mrak has half a second from the second Kowalski.
So to all intents and purposes, Gasper has done what we expected him to do in these dry conditions and has gotten to the lead. Took a lot more work than I think he was expecting, but now all of the infighting that this top 3 has had has brought Jere Kalea into this fight. He is still a little way back by just over 1.5 seconds, but he has got the bit between his teeth with 4 minutes to go. It only takes a couple of corners for things to go so wrong for these 2 teammates in second and third, and all of a sudden it's going to be a fight over second, third and fourth.
Yeah, on the other hand, I think they're not gonna fight each other with a knife between their teeth.
No, of course. Raul Silvestre trying to drive on the inside of Andrisevic gives best for the time being. He was side by side, but I think there may be some damage on that Clio affecting the straight line speed. So easy to get the front track adjusted spontaneously in the course of a race here, and it just takes your straight line speed away.
And while I was talking, Kowalski took second place.
Yep. So sensible and balanced driving from the 2 drivers in second and third. Meanwhile, further down, they really do have the bit between their teeth.
Yep.
Oh, I can't see which round they are. It was Silvestre getting ahead of Andrisevic. You saw how Andrisevic got it hooked into that apex, but just let it drift out.
Hey, Valladares doesn't get the breaking point, right?
Number 5 car.
And while we weren't looking, or no, we were looking, Calleja has gotten very near to Paparinopoulos, so let's see what happens there. While we are on the last or second to last lap.
This could be penultimate lap. Mrak has the pace. If he has the fuel, I see no reason why he would stop. Now, taking that late apex can work, especially in these front-wheel drive cars, allowing the diff to do its thing and getting the power down. Papranopoulos going up the inside of his teammate. Kowalski gets it wrong, but will retain the position.
For the at least second time in this race.
Yes, at least the second time in this particular race. Papadopoulos goes wide. Calais sees his opportunity up the inside. Will keep it tight. Papadopoulos will have a bit more bit more speed coming out the corner, but now he has the disadvantage and is on the outside. Side by side, they're coming towards the chicane. Given space this time for Calais. And beautiful racing here. Papadopoulos still side by side. Can't seal off the deal of defense yet. But Calais absolutely has the inside. Has to leave space. But Calais was a little bit hesitant there and coming up towards
but
the
now
line.
He's got the inside again.
Will Gasparak get
stay
across
on
the line?
Inside. Stay on the inside. Mrak, 3, 2, 1. In the last possible second, he goes
Calais, you have been given a reprieve, and with that opportunity, he will briefly take third position, tries to narrow down the apex of the corner, but can't do it, bumping against Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos this time, I dare say, may take that high line. He needs the straight line speed. Here to the inside. Papadopoulos burning the front left tyre, trying to get the speed, and together they come. That was unfortunate and completely unnecessary.
I will leave that to race control to check. I would say that Calleja went into Papadopoulos, but
I would actually say the other way around.
Okay. As I said,
and that's why we leave it to the stewards.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've had another DNF as Alvaro Incausti retires from the final lap of the race. I think that was a fuel issue.
Oh, can very well be.
He got down to first one. He got down to turn 1 and went no further.
And that's the view a winner has when he crosses the start and end line. Rack wins the race once again. Kowalski second, Papadopoulos third, Abizanda fourth, Calleja fifth. But I think there's gonna be a lot of conversations after this race, as we saw, especially in the first race. We saw a lot of actions that, well, were not exactly the way that we want to see racing. And there
was a lot of action.
Yeah, that one between Papadopoulos and Calleja, I think that's gonna be words.
Yes, absolutely. The weather, as always, threw a spanner in the works for so many of our drivers tonight, and then to have it entirely dry up, as we're seeing here, Gasparak celebrating entirely understandably. That was a hard fought for win and very well deserved. And once again, Kowalski, very well driven, not fighting his teammate, not doing anything that he didn't need to, and will reap the benefits of, I believe, 18 points towards his championship tally. No small feat in this feature race. I was going to say, I thought these Clios have handbrakes.
Oh, yeah. So, next week, 10th of July, we're going to be at Ricardo Tormo in Spain.
Oh, my goodness.
Valencia, and that's going to be the second to last race. The last race is going to be Alton Park on the 17th of July. And with regards to our channel, don't miss our podcast on Thursday. It's going to be an interesting, we had a great conversation on Saturday. That's when we record these. And you can be a part of the recordings up to a point. You can at least listen in if you are a
patron.
If you're a patron at patreon.com. Rumrum. You have to have a certain level, which I don't find right now. I had them written down somewhere.
What you'll have to do is you'll have to wait for the podcast to come out, and then you'll be able to see where you need to go, what you need to do. But you will be able to listen to us recording the podcast live, and potentially, well, we'll have the text chat open. Put it that way.
Yep.
So, if that's something that sounds like something you want, do wait up for us on Thursday.
I found my notes. Formula 4 driver bronze level. In any case, this has been the third to last race of the ASRC Russell Cup. I'm pretty sure that even if the Clio Cup, Russell Cup ends, we're gonna find another series of the ASRC to broadcast, but that we'll see. For now, we keep next week Ricardo Tormo. This Thursday, our podcast in some point. I don't know if it's gonna be this week. The for now secret mod of the ASRC that we got in advance. On Sunday, our news, and next Monday, the race at Ricardo Tormo. Any last words from you, IK?
With regards to this, absolutely not. This was a fantastic evening of racing. It was close, it was frenetic, for the most part, really respectful and clean. We've seen this more than enough times where it's an overstep of the mark, but the overstep of the mark is so very fine that it's entirely understandable. Brilliant driving as always from the ASRC crew. And I can't wait to see them take on Valencia next week. Recently added to ACC, so no excuses for any of the drivers to not be familiar with it. But a very different circuit to what we had today, and will be very different conditions as well.
And for me, the only thing that is left is to say save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium. Bye.
Bye.